I don't know if we had one really good chance. It was more the volume of sort of like, the amount of balls we got into their box. That's like we didn't really get onto the end of many, and didn't. That was like what was kind of disappointing and frustrating.
I think that's been like not a bit of a trend this season, but a lot of talk's been about
Yeah.
how many times you get in good areas and not that finishing touch.
Yeah.
So you're at the other end of the pitch. Can that be frustrating as a player sometimes when you feel like you've got all those chances?
But I also understand that it's the hardest thing to do in football. And to be fair, like I was up for a lot of it because we had like a lot of free kicks and set pieces and stuff where maybe I will look at it myself and maybe I could have got on the end of a few time my runs better or something like that. It's just at the end of the day that is where football counts, is in the opposition box to score goals.
You're obviously one of the older heads in the group, because it's such a young group. Do you think that's something that just come in time, that these players are learning? A lot of them are new to the Championship. Is this team only heading in one direction?
I do think that. I think it's a group that is really hungry to learn. So I do think that they will definitely take the positives today. We'll also look at the negatives and see where we can put that right. But it's a team that has a real appetite to learn, and for sure I see us getting better.
So much of the game is like you've kept them at arm's length kind of limited.
And it's they've just come down from the Premier League. Like, this is a good team. They're at the top end of the Championship. But I guess that's like the frustrating thing, is the fact that we have done that. We have played well and we've pinned them back. They were camped in towards the end of the game, but we've still come away with nothing, unfortunately. Good sides do that. They can soak up the pressure and sort of keep you to a minimum. I know that they're a side that haven't conceded many goals this year. It's just disappointing, really. Like I said, with Hirakawa's chance and then the sort of volume of balls we got into their box. It's disappointing not to at least get one, but we have to sort of dust ourselves off and go again Tuesday.
Liam felt it was a good shot for a penalty. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't like it's hit his hand, but I don't know what the law is on handball anymore. They kind of change it every year. They come and tell us, but it's all quite confusing. From my point of view, it's hit the guy's hand. It's not taken any sort of nasty deflection anywhere near him. He can see it coming from quite a distance. It's come off the ground and hit his hand. So the linesman's on that side as well. That feels frustrating. I don't really want to get too hung up on sort of decision from the officials, but that is a bit of a. It's just mounts up the frustration, really, because I think it is probably a penalty. If that hit my hand in my own box, I'd probably be sort of like it's probably a pen.
But is that your frustration more than about the lack of consistency rather than that even individual error? The fact that if it was like every couple of weeks there's a different rule, is that where?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I understand the officials have got a hard job. It's a fast-paced game. They've got to make very sort of big decisions in a small amount of time. I guess I don't know. I don't want to talk about officials too much, but I just kind of look at that and think it probably is a handball and it should be a penalty to us.
I guess there's the biggest positive from this is there's another game Tuesday where you can bounce back. Is that something like you already? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I already think you just want to sort of, not that today was a bad performance, but you want to sort of It's easier to get over a result if you go on Tuesday and you go and get a good result at Watford.
Obviously, the game's going so thick and fast over the festive period. I spoke to Anis earlier in the week and spoke about how this feels like a real chance to stake a claim for that top six place. Is that something that's like a message in the group that the next few months they might not be decisive, but they could be so important?
Yeah, I mean, there's a balance, right? I mean, you want to. Of course, we want to pick up a lot of points over the next period, and it's a really good chance to do so, because in the Championship, if you pick up 3 wins in a row, your position in the table changes pretty drastically. That's how tight it is. But at the same time, we don't want to lose sight of the sort of short-term goals of, just purely we look at Watford and we want to beat Watford. We can't really afford to think too much about what's after that. We have to sort of focus on each game as it presents itself and try and win that game.
Just finally from me, obviously you started in that 3, like you in the middle of it, then moved to the 4. On a personal note, how different is the challenge playing? Is that almost the middle one in the 3 to when you're in the 4? How much different?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when I'm playing in the middle of the 3, out of possession, we kind of we roll it into the 4 at the back anyway. So out of possession, it doesn't change loads. It's just in possession, it should give me a bit more sort of. I actually quite like it because I'm more in the centre of the pitch, so I should have more options or more passing angles and stuff like that. I don't mind it. I mean, I kind of can play anywhere across the sort of that line. So I'm quite comfortable with it. Cheers.
Hi Rob. Just going back to the handball on the wider point. I go all around the country and I'm always hearing about people have got this lack of clarity on what the actual rule is. Back in the day, referees used to visit training grounds and clubs. Do they still do that?
Yeah, no, they do. They did. They did come in at the start of the year, but it's like I don't know. Maybe I should have paid a bit more attention in the meeting. It just felt a little bit kind of like vague. I don't know. It's just. I mean, it's in the box. The ball's at his hand. It's a handball. Like that's kind of how I see it. Like I said, if that was me and it would hit my hand in the box like that, I'd kind of be sort of a bit nervous that it probably is a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, do you obviously get the opportunity to get feedback from the officials?
Yeah.
Has that happened at any
Yeah,
time?
but the staff kind of deal with that though. Like they will write to them, and then they always get a report on the sort of in the following week to kind of say what the Premier League sort of panel thought of Premier League panel, the officials panel thought of the decisions or what have you. But by then it's kind of a bit late, isn't it? But that's the way it is. So.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, you want clarity yourself. You want to know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it kind of changes.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. They kind of. I like I said, I don't want to talk about the officials too much. We just have to get over it. We can't let it kind of affect us emotionally during the game.
Okay. Obviously, the club's now looking upwards rather than downwards. What have you noticed since Liam's come in terms of what's changed at the club and how you're moving forward and progressing?
Yeah, I think just the general standards and the drive that we have with each other every day. We want to train and behave at a really high level every day because it kind of becomes a habit then. So then when we come out on a Saturday, we want to have high level basics, and then if we don't, we demand it off of each other. That's kind of what I think is more of a change. So yeah, I'd say that and just a bit more clarity in what we want to do and get out of a game.
And in terms of yourself, since you come from QPR, how would you say your game's progressed and how has he helped you?
I think he puts me in a position where I can affect a game a little bit more in possession than from how I ended my sort of time at QPR. I think he gives me, because of the way we're set up, I have a lot more options when I've got the ball, rather than sort of it being an off-the-cuff decision when I get the ball. We're much more sort of strategic about where we want certain players on the pitch.
Of course, it's a club with a lot of potential. I mean, it's madness, isn't it? This club's never been in the Premier League.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I think we're all ambitious, and we want to get in. We want to break into the sort of top six of this division and go from there. It is the club with the potential, yeah. But there's 15 other teams in this division that want to break into that sort of top six. So we just have to keep taking each day as it comes, or each game as it comes, and improving and learning from every experience.